Messi. Messi. Oh my goodness. Balotelli. Aguero. That is extraordinary. What a head, son. What a head. Back of the net.
Hello. It is the Not a Pundit podcast. But sure, you already know that. You clicked on the link. Why am I telling you? I am Killian Ginnity, and I'm delighted to be joined, as ever, by Conor Glennon and Nathan Byrne. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Good. I tell you what, I'm a hell of a lot better than our Man United friend over there. They're in a bit of bother, and we are. Even though we're not exactly where we want to be, we're pretty damn close, and I'm excited for a weekend of Premier League games. Seems like a pretty bumper weekend. I'll throw it to our dear Red friend. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm okay. I've been a bit under the weather the last few days, and United haven't helped that. But it's not long to the end of the season now, so we're troopering away, and please God, we get some points and we don't get relegated.
King of the Mackhams, how are you?
Other than Sunderland breaking my heart yet again, and I'm lads, if I'm not grey by Christmas, it'll be a miracle. Like 90 plus 5, we concede the losing goal. We were winning up until like the 60th minute.
If you're not grey,
yeah.
I mean, Jesus, Nate's gonna have no hair if that's what we're playing at. Like.
Oh, boo-hoo, you used to win trebles. We were in League One up until like a year or two ago.
Nate's booking a flight to Turkey as we speak. Like.
Before we do get into the Premier League preview, I do want to actually say we were kind of wrong last week. We were a little bit more pessimistic about Bose Shamrocks being in the Aviva Stadium than we probably should have been. Because Nate, what a show, what a spectacle, what a weekend.
Yeah, it was a good watch. Something to build on. I think going forward now, I think they should look at still the smaller stadiums. I think visual wise, a packed out stadium looks a bit better to me. Although that's nothing against what they did in the weekend, and it was a good derby, and they got numbers in.
Well,
35,000, I think, in the end. So they
33, I think.
So around 8 to 10K more than we thought, which is like as Nate said, it was great to see. I suppose the spectacle of it. I mean, it's you'd almost wish they'd just packed everyone into a smaller segment, so it was a bit more rowdy. It seemed a bit patchy in places, but look, it's as you said. I think we were a bit overly pessimistic. I do hope that the gate receipts were kind of down the middle and both clubs benefited from it. But I do think, like I saw the Rodfather talking about it on somewhere or other, and he was very much like the importance of the league. Look, it's always been a bit of a niche thing in Ireland. It needs to kind of stay like that to keep its I suppose beauty. And like, look, I want the game to get as big as it can, but there is something nice about it being a bit more small scale than what we're used to across the water.
I have to say, like, there's probably 10,000-15,000 people more that could go to that game and did get to go to that game than would have if there was in a smaller stadium. I think as a curtain raiser for the season, between the TV coverage, the social coverage from outlets and clubs and the league itself, it was just a great and exciting way to open the season for everybody, and for those kind of I don't want to say fair weather fans, but maybe fans that haven't got to experience it yet. I think it was a great introduction for everyone, and like, I think one of the issues that we can see, and it's league wide, and for all the resources that Dublin has, there's no kind of in between. It's either you're getting like 5,000, 8,000, 10,000, or 50,000, and after that, it's 80,000. So yeah, we were pessimistic for the right reasons. We didn't want it to overly cost, and I would still stand by what we said if the ticket sales had stayed as it was when we were talking about it. But getting over that 30 mark, you'd presume, even if it was only expenses covered, for the the hype that it brings and for the aspiration that it's going to bring for the league.
I'd
I'm
love to
just
see
so
the
happy
numbers
for
on
it.
it when you said with the kind of, I suppose, the level of press it received. I'd love to compare that to like what's that in your average amount of games it takes to get to those numbers. And yeah, like I think it definitely brings more eyes to it. I think Diageo coming in from a Rockshore point of view is only going to benefit the league from a sponsorship. Virgin coming in, off the ball coming in, like it's definitely getting there and growing legs. I think we're in the same predicament from a sports perspective, and this isn't just limited to football. To be honest, like we have it as well in music, where you've got Whelan's, you've got the Olympia, and then you got to jump to the Three Arena. Like there is probably an argument there for a multi-purpose stadium to be built that's somewhere in the middle of kind of a 20,000 seater stadium. And I know people are going to say there's other stadiums outside Dublin that could be utilised for these things, and that is something that the league could look into, because I don't know if they've spoken to it, but I mean, I'd assume that this is probably going to become a, if not yearly thing, twice a year.
Well, like one of the things is the RDS is currently being built. Like that could be a perfect solution.
Yeah,
It's going to be
actually, that's a great show.
22,000. Like that's a good size in my opinion. I think like what you have to be careful of there is like you want instead of going above and beyond with number wise in the stadium, I think they need to prioritize atmosphere, and I think that's one of the things that probably lacks when you don't fill out a stadium.
Yeah.
So I think having a look maybe at the RDS in the future and stuff like that could be very beneficial.
Yeah, you just hope with that the kind of red tape of rugby doesn't get involved there, because that's always been a predicament previously. But that's a great show, Nate. Like I like I've been to Rovers Bows games over the years. They're absolutely electric. They're incredible, and I'd love to see the perspective of someone who's gone to those games for 20 odd years. What was the atmosphere like, compared to your smaller scale? And I think that's what has led to the, let's face it, like I'm not, I don't want to insult any players in the League of Ireland. There's some serious athletes there, but I think the thing that's always sold that league is the atmosphere. It's been its USP the entire time.
Well, I think as a curtain raiser, the Aviva could become a very cool tradition, even if it was only like once at the start of the year or once at the end of the year, that you kind of have like the big match. And then for other games where, say, that it gets sold out and there's still people looking for tickets, like make a waiting list, and then it gets bumped up to the RDS throughout the year. And I think that would be a nice kind of middle ground to preserve that kind of massive atmosphere where it becomes like a religious experience, because everybody's there, everybody's really into it. Sounds become deafening, and it becomes a real experience. But also balancing, like bringing in money and getting to allow as many people to go, because like the amount of I wouldn't say criticism, but complaints over the last kind of 2 years from especially Bows fans just being like, I want to go to games, I can't support my club because they keep selling out. What a complaint to have. It's amazing, but it's also not great, because then suddenly there's going to be people that are not going to go to games, and you don't want to get to that kind of American isms where it's like, oh well, if you can't go to their game, just go to the other game because we're all friends. No, we still want rivalries.
One thing I was delighted to see as well is that there wasn't any major incidents from a security or trouble perspective. So, like, I mean, I think fair play to the fans, and on the day where there was the most eyes of all time on it, that they kind of did their bit and kept things calm.
No, it was absolutely brilliant and a fantastic season to come. But let's turn our attention to what is going to be a very, very busy Premier League period, because from Saturday, I think it's through till Thursday, there's games. We'll start off with Everton versus Man United. We'll rip the band-aid off, Nate. How is it going to feel when Moyes beat you?
So it feels the same as every other time this season. I'm not really feeling much from a United perspective currently. Like I'm gone a bit numb, lads. We're just shocking. Like I struggled not to go a couple notches higher with the words I'm using. We're just shocking. Yeah, like the football's atrocious. The atmosphere is atrocious. Our players are atrocious.
Well, let's just start on that point though, Nate. The football being atrocious, because when Amarin came in, that was kind of like, okay, the results aren't exactly where we want them to be straight away, but he's playing in an interesting way. So what's gone wrong?
Well, like, I just don't understand the decision making personally in terms of you brought in a manager mid season who has a very definitive style of play, who loves wing backs and utilizing more abnormal, I'd say, positions than currently. Um, we just haven't backed them in January. Like if you're gonna bring in a manager mid season, you got to get behind them, give them money, and I feel like he's just been left out to dry, and the football is a sorry sight currently.
You'd wonder, was he told, I suppose, from a recruitment standpoint, what the road was going to look like? Was he kind of told you're not going to have much in January? You're going to have to sell to buy. We're going to have to decrease the wage structure. And does he buy into that? And I suppose at the same time, was he kind of promised, look, this is a gimme season, but then if you're the ownership, you didn't see it going this south. Like, you guys are what, 14th?
15th.
Like, wow. Like,
We're 12 points off the drop.
that's
And
insane.
just to put it, like, when Amarin came in, we were 4 points off top four. Just to
Justice
put
for
it
Ten
out there.
Hag.
Like, I'm not saying Ten Hag should have kept the job, but it goes back to this decision making that why did we bring him in mid season if we weren't going to back him in January?
Well, like, I mean, Ten Hag could have had you in 15th too. You know, like, I mean, like, and
But like, are we
I mean that in a like a Amram's not doing anything that Ten Hag couldn't, and I think it's a, you know, why if 15th is where you're going to be in February, you may as well kept hold of Ten Hag, bring him in and swap out in the summer, and then have a full summer window to play with. It doesn't make sense.
like it's actually like we're currently in like a miserable spot in terms of there's no communication going on what the vision is. Like, why not communicate with the fans that you think like this season's going to be we're not going to back them this season because we're going to back them in the summer. There's zero communication along them lines. Our players, like, I don't know, like, Anthony left, went on a madness, like he's scoring goals left, right, and centre. Wait, like, he couldn't do it at United, and none of our players seem to be able to do it either. Like Hoyland, like, if we sold him for a fiver, I'd be like, that's good going.
When you look at Anthony's output, I suppose in 4 games he's got 4 goals and assists in there. Do you think that's just a, you know, Michael Jordan last dance kind of prove it to the world situation, or like we're starting to see when the shackles come off, some of the players that leave United, like Sancho is playing reasonably well. Rashford had a good game last weekend, nearly got that free kick, which would have been an absolute belter. McTominay's channeling his inner Maradona over in Napoli, and you know, even Anthony, who we all took great enjoyment laughing at, is actually, like, one of the goals I saw the other day was half volley outside the box, absolute worldly of a finish. Like,
Yeah, I like the club's just toxic currently, and that's not to say that some of the players who've left have not definitely added to the toxicity in the club. But like, I still go back to, I think it's inexcusable with how bad some of these players are playing. Like, it doesn't make sense. You're footballers. You've been doing it your whole life. Score a fucking goal, please. Like, that's all I'm asking. Score a fucking goal. I want to see a goal. Like, it's genuinely baffling, and I just don't understand where we go currently.
do you think it's a case where, like, it has to be one of 3 things? They either can't play a system, don't want to play a system, or, like, Jesus, like, it's, you know, they, I just don't even understand what the problem is. It's like, is his system even workable in that team? Do they want to do it? And like, does he have the resources to do it in?
I don't think they care personally. I said it when we sacked Ten Hag. I said this gives the players the license to write off the season. That's what happened last time. Is when you sack a manager mid-season, you go, whatever happens from now on, you're just riding it out. Like that's how it gets treated.
Do you think Amron's in danger of becoming a Ten Hag 2.0, where Ten Hag was brought in to play the Ajax way of playing football, and then results started going not his way? The tactics weren't working. He was getting criticised for maintaining his tactics, and he adjusted. And then it just became ever more toxic when he was getting some results and getting some cups. But like, will Amarin be painted into a corner now where he's going to be forced to kind of break his omerta and of his tactics and like go back to like a 4-2-3-1 or something?
If he pivots out of that 4-3-3, he's got nothing. He's got no leg to stand on. The only possible thing he has in his back pocket is if that comes around and they start winning things playing that. Because like he is at risk of being a Vinny Company where it's Jesus mate, you know anything other than 4-3-3. If not, you're getting the boot. But uh, I don't know about you, Nate. If he moves away from that, he is open to so much criticism.
I don't think he's gonna move away. He's the most stubborn fucker I've ever seen. Like he doesn't even make adjustments mid game. No, I don't see him moving.
Sounds like
Whatsoever.
Stephen Kenny. Ooh.
Like the thing with Ten Hag is he switched from his formation day one, so it's I don't see him switching at all.
But like, at what point do you just start like making your tactics work for your players? If the players aren't working for your tactics, like, there has to be some kind of give here, because, as you say, just a 12 point off relegation. Like, what would be better to kind of go, right, let's just play 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 or 4-4-2 or 4-5-1 or whatever formation you want it to be until the end of the year. Let's just get useless bunch of over the line, and then I'll get rid of the lotties and I'll get people in that'll actually play the way I want. Because like, I saw a post the other day saying that the kind of keep sell or whatever, they only had 6 players to be kept. Like,
You tell me, Killian. Like it's been 10 years and 10 managers. Don't think the players have played for it. Like don't think any tactics has worked for them.
When you even look at that though, Nate, it's like, I saw an article going around. I don't know whether it was what day it was during the week, but since 2013, in terms of getting rid of managers, you've spent £72.2 million paying off their contracts. Added on top of that, you've got Dan Ashworth, who's got 4.1 million contractually. You had to do his buyout of 5 million, so that's what, 9 million quid, and he worked there for 150 days. Like, from an optics point of view, when you're making people redundant left and right, you're taking away subsidies for charities, you're taking subsidies away for OAP tickets. It's like, where do they possibly think the positive PR is going to come from this? And I'm very aware the way I'm saying this sounds like you're the one making these decisions. You're not the bad man.
yeah, Nate, why did you decide this?
Honestly, I don't know why I laid them all off. Personally, I have no clue. But in terms, like, there is no positive PR. Like how can you spin any of it? It's just been shit. Like,
Well, you just think, if you're going to be
like
this poor on the pitch, wait till next season to make all these financial moves. Like, do something that the whole club isn't going to hate you, from the people working there to the fans watching the games.
like I go back to it again, and I got ridiculed for defending Den Hag the way I did. Is he won 2 trophies in back-to-back seasons, and they sacked him 4 points off top four. We are now
It's looking
we
like a miracle now.
we are now 12 points off the drop. Like we are 12 points off the championship. With
It,
how many games to go? Like
Not that many.
13 games to go. Like we are in danger.
you're like, it's funny seeing you down there, but like, let's
no,
face it, the 3 at the bottom are goners anyway, so you are
you,
safe.
you
But
say you say that, but like we're not winning games. We're not putting points on the board. Like
You should not
all
be
it,
relying on other teams being worse than
all
you.
we need is a Leicester City little revival again, and we're toast. Like we and I think that's one of the things I've been saying recently is like we need to stress to the United fans we are in a relegation battle. Like you can sugarcoat it as it is, but how many points we've dropped from when Amran took over to where we are now? is astronomical. Like.
Where you are like in 15th now, like when Amarim came in, how bad? Like, what was the worst you thought it could get? Like, are we there or have we passed that by a country
Oh, I
mile?
thought we were going up. Like I thought we were getting better. Like I'll say it. I'll say it again for the people in the back. We were 4 points off top four. Like I thought we could put up a battle for top four. Like genuinely, but it's only gotten worse. And I don't put that down to Amram personally. I put that down for like delusional decision making.
But like, how much of the blame is lies at Radcliffe? Like, obviously the Glazers
Oh,
are there
all
too.
of it.
They're doing whatever the Glazers like doing on their super yachts off the coast of Tampa. But like, it, is Amram doing? Like, we look at Ten Hag, is like, do we think Ten Hag at that point? Yeah, you were 4 points off, but like, if he'd been there now, do you think they still would have drifted further down the table? Because like, it seems it's almost getting to Spurs level of like, what is the issue? Because you've gone like Spurs through 10 managers. There's still the chronic issues there. It's, you've spent money on players not fixing the issue. Players leave or do better when they leave. It's like, I don't want to call you Spurs, mate, but you're trending that way. Like,
Oh, but like we are Spurs at this rate. Like in terms of like what we're showing on the pitch, yeah, like lads, I don't really know what to say other than it's going to be a scary couple of weeks because I'll just add to this is like if you go look at our form, if Leicester City had a win to their last 5 games, they're on the same form as us. Like genuinely, like they're on the same form as us. So
Like if United were a smaller club, like say like a Leicester, I think the conversation we'd be having right now would be, I think United needs a relegation. I think that's the only way that they're going to clear the decks enough to be able to rebuild. Because Connor, you've seen it with Newcastle when they went down. I've seen it with Sunderland. You do need something catastrophic to break so that it forces the rot out and allows you to rebuild. Like Sunderland had it really, really bad, really, really negative by the time we got down to League One, and now we're so positive. Newcastle had it where that the spine of players that left when you got relegated, and was it 09-10 or whatever it was, or 10-11, like good players, Viduka, Obafemi Martins, they Michael Owen, but they weren't the players that were going to stick with you.
well, we like it. Don't get me wrong. Let's call a spade a spade. Getting relegated is absolutely atrocious, and the feeling is will it'll burn into your brain for any real football fan. But I do think it recalibrated us as a club, both from a wage structure point of view, from a fan perspective of, yes, we're a massive club, but here's where we are right now, and we need to build. Did we bring in some managers that were incredibly questionable after that fact? Yes. Did we get rid of managers like Rafa Benitez that we had no right in having in the first place? Yes. But I do think those trips down stuck with us from a club perspective, like in the DNA of the club.
Like, you wouldn't have been in a position to finish fifth under Pardew if you didn't have the relegation, because you would have been still straddled with these big wage players.
That fifth season, I will say though, that was our Leicester moment. You know what I mean? That was as big as it got. Like, that was, no one saw that coming. We basically had a French national team as our team that season. We had players of levels that had no right being in up north in Newcastle. Like, that was our crowning achievement until we had the Saudi takeover.
to be honest, lads, like how it's felt this season, a relegation sounds pretty fun. Like win a few games. Like
No, but like, really, like, it was not long ago we were talking about with Everton. Like, do they need to go down to get that opportunity? And like, I don't think United are going to get relegated. I don't think that they would nearly be allowed to get relegated. But you need that kind of a moment, because just something's got to give, and unless something really drastic happens, it looks like you're going to be just putting another band-aid on this cut.
just to put it into perspective, like how miserable this season's been, we have lost 12 games. Ipswich Town have lost 14.
Well, like, look, I think you're doing it for the football fans out there. You know, once those charges hit in, City will be in the championship. You're just joining them, so there's a bit of excitement down there. That's all you're doing.
Yeah. While Nottingham Forest sit third, like Jesus.
With all that context now, for the listener, what did you make of the weekend against Everton? Obviously, Moyes has gotten Everton cooking. Like, I don't care what.
If the league started a month ago, he'd be top, boys. Just saying.
Honestly, on our form, we're getting battered on the weekend. Like literally,
I do think it's going to be a great game because it seems like Everton have. I don't even think it's a new manager bump because like he's been there obviously for a long time previously. I think they're going back to what Everton are. I think they're also playing with no fear because I think they do. Like they're on what 30 odd points now, something like that. Like they're not far off safe. There's a big gap. They're lucky with the bottom three in the positions that they are. I dare say they're safe. You know.
Well, I think we also need to mention the fact that like Moyes is the top half version of Sam Allardyce now. Like he's consistently proven he can go into clubs when they're underperforming and get them overperforming. Man United should hire him.
Oh wait, they did.
I think I could take the 12th manager. Really
and they spent £5 million getting rid of him.
No, but genuinely, like he on paper, he looks like he should have been the man to get the United job now, because like he is able to work with the players that he gets. I think it'd be a really, really fascinating game, and if United don't win, or even get a draw, like if United lose here, Nate, just give me a call, please.
Jokes aside, can I ask how long is Amram's contract? Like, what did he sign?
I can't remember.
Like sub 3 years?
No, I think it was around 3 years.
Like, I mean, I never thought we'd be in February going, what's left in his contract? Like, if they get rid of him, man, I don't know what is next.
The thing is, lads, like, I don't know what to say other than, like, we can't score goals. Like it's the fabric of football. Oh, yeah,
all right, Michael Owen.
Lads, he might get a call off me on the weekend. Just needing a chat. Like,
next episode's title is going to be Nate gives up on football. But like, it's not the only game going this weekend, Connor. Who are Newcastle facing?
We have the unfortunate game of Forest. I do think Chris Wood's going to be on. Like, this will be my second mention of the Last Dance, Michael Jordan stuff. I think he's going to come back up to the tune and have something to prove. We didn't exactly thank him for his uses when he was up there. Look, I mean, we've talked about it in previous episodes. It's great to see what Forest are doing. I do worry we are going to drop points against them. I mean, look, we're good. We're playing very well at home. We've got players kind of really coming into peak form. I do wonder, though, with Liverpool only a couple of days later, and that game's huge for us in the fact that I'd be very worried if we beat Liverpool. Like, look, I never want Newcastle to lose a game, but I think if we beat Liverpool, they destroy us in the cup final just out of karma and not karma, revenge. So I think we're coming into a period now where we've got a lot of, like, Forest and Liverpool back to back is a very tough do. So I'd wonder what squad rotation we'd look at for the Forest game. I would personally think that we'll get a draw out of it, but not much more.
imagine selling the best striker in the Premier League. It's mental.
He wasn't even the best striker in the Championship when they sold him.
I remember I heard Alan Shearer talking about Chris Wood recently, and he was like, I'll admit it, I didn't think he had that in him, and then I think Lineker was like, I don't think he knew he had it in him. You know, I love seeing players like Chris Wood have a season like they're having, but I'd love to kind of look in the crystal ball and what's next year look like, you know.
But like, genuinely, because people think like that, how long does he have to go with unreal form before a bigger club signs him?
What age is he even now? He's not young. Like.
He's 32, I think.
Yeah, like
say he kicks on into next season, yeah. Like, at what point does a club go like, yeah, let's get him, like, let's buy him?
I think the only
He's
club
33.
33 going 34. Like, I think his arguably, look, if Forest finish where they are right now, why on earth would he leave anyway? But I think, say they by the end of the season fall out of top four, even top six. I think like best case scenario is a top six team who get an injury and need 8 goals before the end of the year. Like I don't see him. It's not like Arsenal are going to come knocking on his door
Dare
again.
dare I say it? Chris Wood this season is top 5 prolific goal scorers in the last 5 years.
Prolific and Chris Wood should not be in the same
I'm just
sentence.
saying, like
I'm gonna look in the crystal
football-
ball here, lads.
football lacks prolific strikers these days, and
Well,
Chris
yeah,
Wood this season
like
is one.
not to sound like old man shouting into the wind, but like it does seem when you look at Premier League years, and you even think of football 8, 9, like tail end of Fergie, it seemed like every team had 2 strikers that were tops. Now you'd struggle to see one in every team.
I'm gonna look in the crystal ball here, lads. I reckon next season comes, he has 3 goals by Christmas, and he goes out on loan to Man United for the second half of the season. Like
Shout out
they're
Veghorst kind of move, like
Keep my
Cavani,
club out of
Igalo,
your mouth.
like I know.
he's
To
prolific though.
He's no,
He
but
is.
but genuinely though, he's the kind of player that would give you actually something different, and I think that's the big learning with him
Mate.
this season is that like when
I take
United go on.
I take 42-year-old Benny McCarthy back up. Have you seen our strikers?
Well, see, this is what I'm saying. Like when every other club now is going out and buying these young, slight, like technical strikers, Forest have a big fucker. And like we said when Moyes went back to Everton, big fuckers work.
You need a
And
big
he's
fucker
proven
and a
it.
little fucker. That's what works in Premier League football.
Well, but like even when you say like if you look back when Crouch was still playing and Guardiola talked about him, was it in an
Yeah.
interview or a book?
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
said that he was the hardest player to try and tactically deal with because he was better on with his feet than he thought, but he was just so big and he could do so many different things that.
But he was also abnormal in his movements. You didn't know what he was going to do next because arguably, look, I think Peter Crouch is tremendously underrated and people take the piss out of him just because of what he looks like. And like, I mean, he has over, is it 100, at least over 100 goals in the Premier League. But, I think he was a very unique player and people like him cannot be underestimated and they've disappeared.
But this is what I'm saying. Like when every other player is starting to have similar-ish kind of physiques and stuff, and ideas on how to play football, defenders are starting to train specifically for that.
Yeah.
So then when you have somebody like Nate, you even saw with Veghorst at United, just having that opportunity to offer something different can just disrupt the opposition enough that'll give you a gap either directly by the player scoring or by them opening up space for somebody else to get a score. And I think like when Conte came in at Chelsea and started playing with 3 at the back and the wing backs, I think next season you're going to see a massive premium put on big fuckers.
Honestly, I'd take Veghorst back. Like
In terms of big fuckers, right? I know we're saying height wise, Peter Crouch is obviously he's god level, but like, are we like big fucker to me is also like I don't know, Emil Heskey, John Carew, Troy Deeney.
Look at Decore at Everton. He's not that tall. He's like 6'6", 6'1",
but just
but he's a big
units.
fucker.
Yeah, just like immovable objects that can hold up a ball and spread it.
Could you be a bouncer? That's what we want. We like just having somebody there that can physically disrupt, and you don't have to be Akinfenwa. You don't have to be benching the opposition team's total weight. You just need to be somebody that's built reasonably strong and can hold up the ball. Like Fellaini right now in the Premier League would be amazing because most teams wouldn't have a clue what to do with him anymore.
Again with him, it's the hindsight with these things. Like, it's the same with like managers. When Mourinho was managing, people underestimated how tough a job he was doing. Like people laughed at Fellaini. Like Fellaini was a great player. He was
Fellaini
used.
had
He was shy for us.
No, but as
he
in
wasn't
he
great
was.
for use.
No, he
But
wasn't great for use.
he had a really bad injury at Everton that he was out for months.
And he never really
before.
came back.
No, but the thing about him as well, though, even when he was at United, he had a better chest control than some players have first touches. Like, if you played specifically for him, he, just by having something different that the other teams didn't know how to handle, that first control of his chest was unbelievable.
So, like, the fella literally had something wrong with him that he couldn't pass forward for some reason. Like he literally couldn't pass forward. Like, I can remember to this day. Like,
In
shouting
fairness,
at the TV.
seeing all the players come and go at United, I'm not going to hold that
Honestly,
against
do you
Fellaini.
think Zlatan would come back mid-season to save us? Like,
He did at AC Milan not too long ago.
I do think one thing that United are lacking, and just to kind of bring us back down out of the clouds on this one, is like at the bare minimum, take out results is effort, but also physicality. Like, it's been a long time since I've seen a United team that's just absolutely physically dominated a team. You know, where they didn't have an inch to move. Every tackle was a strong, not 2-footer, but you know what I mean. Like it seems a very half-arsed United at every point. I would even take. I don't know about you, Nate. Look, you're the red, not me. But like, I would come out of games if United lost the game 2-0 that they were going to lose anyway. But it was two just goals on the break. But for the rest of that game, they physically dominated. They tried to every inch, and they were just unlucky. I can deal with that a lot better than I can deal with the not trying, the missing their man, not tracking back, like all the just they're the basics. They're like you don't even need like that's just hard work. You don't need talent for that. You know,
listen, I'm just gonna say I think we are one right back, one centre back, one
half a team. So
no right back, centre back, and
center mid.
someone with the ability to put the ball in the back of the net. That'd be a good start.
You need a spine to the team, realistically.
Like I think we have a good team there. It's just like
no,
adding the
you have good
piece.
players. You have good individuals. You don't have a good team.
I think we did. Like, I feel bad for Ugarte because I genuinely think he's come in and been unreal. And I think now, the good things he's done at the beginning is now being overshadowed with just how shit we are. Like, I genuinely think he's a quality player. And loads of people doubted him before he came in the summer. Like Kobe Mainu, unreal. Like, I feel like we have a spine. It's just we need a vocal point. Like,
actually, before I asked the same kind of question to you, but on the different match, Connor. Nate, what do you think the result Everton United is going to be?
oh fuck.
I'm saying 2-1 on Everton.
Do you want my United answer or do you want my
Both?
Like,
give us your head first before your heart.
Okay, my head says 3-1 Everton.
What about your heart?
4-0 United.
Killian, what are you saying? Like I'm saying, so Nate, you're saying 3-1. I'm saying Everton. I'm saying 2-1 Everton. What are you saying, Killian?
I think it's going to be probably 1-0 Everton.
I
could see a 2-1. I doubt United getting a goal.
I think they could batter us, honestly, with the new stadium bounce. Like, in terms of, like, there's only a few games left in Goodison.
Yeah. It'd be great if they did. Just because, like, I think of the two teams in this relegation battle, Everton deserves to kind of just secure their safety sooner rather than later. Let United struggle a little bit more.
We deserve to.
No, deserve, not entitled to. But Connor, I'll ask this to you before I pass it on to Nate. The Newcastle Nottingham Forest Champions League race match. Who would have thought that 5 years ago? What are you saying?
I'm thinking again. There's the head and heart thing. Look, I think 1-1 draw. My head thinks we'll lose it. I just, yeah, I hope I'm wrong. And by lose it, I think it'll be 2-0 Forest.
What are you saying, Nate?
I think 2-1 winner. Chris Wood last minute.
Oh God, I could not handle that.
Such as that big fuck off stand that goes to the sky.
I'm going to say a 3-2 win to Forest.
Oh, you're going proper spice bag game.
Yeah, no, I think it will. Forest, I think, can concede. And I think Newcastle can get some goals.
We hinge though on like if Isak has an off day, we're done.
Yeah, no, I can still see us getting like
Anthony
put
Gordon
Dan
is
Burn
our
up there.
backup, or yeah, like I mean, look, maybe I'm just having a pessimistic day. We do have players that can score outside Isak. I'm aware of that, but like I do think even I think the players. It's a very cohesive team at the moment, but I think they vibe off their superstar in a way that United used to off prime Ronaldo. If he's having an off day, oh God, what do we do? Everyone's a bit like, oh, what's Plan B?
I just think rather than necessarily Newcastle's strength to be able to score, I think you'll get goals more based on Forest's ability to concede. But they'll also win based on the fact that they're just very good at outscoring their opponents. I know that's obvious, like that's how football works. But you know what I mean. Like they always just seem to get that extra attack to get the extra goal, and I think that's what's going to happen with them.
Now it's the time has come. Tell us who the filthy Mackhams have. Who are you playing?
I haven't actually looked it up. After the Leeds result, I was so depressed. So I just didn't. So we have Hull on Saturday. I reckon we should get a result there. If we don't, I would say automatic promotion is off the cards. And we'd just be going for a
playoff.
A playoff. And if we're going through playoffs, just based on number of games, I'd have a question mark. But we do have some of our better players coming back from injury, like Mundell and stuff. So I'm generally quite optimistic about it. And then the other kind of big game of the actual weekend is on Sunday, which may be ultimately a title decider, Nate. Man City versus Liverpool. Obviously, City coming off of the 4-0 demolishing.
The title race. Huh?
No. I think it'll be a title decider. I'm not saying that City's in the race. I'm saying that this is a result that could decide Liverpool's season.
I was going down the same route as Nate. I was like, "What is you smoking over there?"
You didn't ask me my Sunderland score prediction.
I'm sorry. Tell us what you think of the whole City formation first.
I think they're a very good squad. I really like the one in the orange and black shirt.
I like that lad that wears number 9.
But yeah, I think it's going to be a 2-1 win for a whole last minute winner. Shush the Sunderland fans. That's what I think.
Well, we bet them last time we played them, so
we won't this time. So now on to real football.
Go on. So City, Liverpool. Obviously, City bet Newcastle 4-0 in their last game.
I thought we were going to get that out of the way. I thought we were going to dodge that. I thought I'd done a pretty good job of not mentioning it.
No. I'm going to make sure that's got in there. So going in with a bit of confidence. Liverpool, as you said, had a little bit of a wobble recently, but I don't know. Is it enough to kind of disrupt the title race?
Well, considering, like, I think Liverpool's having a big wobble. I think they could struggle against City. I don't know how Newcastle lost 4-0 to them. I'll say that. I even back United to beat them right now. I think Liverpool will win just because City are just horrible.
Is Slot banned from the touchline for that game?
I'm unsure, but Villa's about to beat Liverpool. Villa's about to draw with Liverpool. So, it's getting shaky.
I'm not actually sure when it's going to be. It's 2-match ban though, so he might not be there for City.
But he's out in tonight's game, isn't he?
Yeah. So tonight, as we record, it's against Villa. But
2-0.
when it goes out, the next game will be City. So, but then there's it's a rapid fire turnaround of games. So by uh, Wednesday is the next game in the Premier League for Liverpool, and that's against Newcastle. So by Thursday, Slot will be back on the touchline for whatever the following game
I
is.
have to
So
say, Jesus, he got rattled. He fully lost it. Like, I mean, I do think it was nice to see a bit of bite in him. I don't think you get to that level as a Premier League manager, a top flight manager, without having that streak to you. But what was your take on that whole RG pargy? Like, I love to see that kind of thing, and I've missed that kind of thing in big games.
yeah, like I don't know, after Klopp, when Klopp was doing these kind of things and people were accusing him of whinging and stuff, uh, I don't know. Yes, I like to see it. Like in the Sunderland Leeds game, Daniel Farke actually celebrated the 90+5 winner. And because he celebrated with the players, I think it was, I don't know if it was just a culmination of yellow cards or whatever, but now he is the touchline ban, and that kind of stuff I hate. But when you're going and having a whinge at a referee, I'm I don't like it, but I'm not against it. I don't think it deserves a touchline ban for 2 games anyway. What do you think, Nate?
My favorite part of it, boys, was the knee slide from Pickford. Majestic, absolutely. That is the shithousery I live for.
He's one of our own. He's one of our own. Nate, what did you think of Slot's antics?
I thought it was a bit of a show of weakness from Liverpool that they got so riled up by Everton nicking a point. Yeah, I think it's one to keep an eye on, lads. Uh, a loss to Plymouth Argyle and then a draw with Everton and now a draw with Villa.
Well, the bet Wolves in between as well. So
Yeah,
So over the weekend, I should be expecting a call from you, Nate, and Arne as well.
yeah. You'll be definitely getting one.
do you think it'll be not a title decider, but I think this could kind of help sway where the Premier League goes at the end of the season, just because while Liverpool are ahead, is enough now that they're having these wobbles for Arsenal to be able to kind of pull some ground back.
I just don't think Arsenal have it in them. Especially with not bringing in a striker in January. Thank Christ we managed to keep hold of Isak. Havertz being out for the rest of the season. Look, I know they threw Mikel Merino up top and got some goals out of it, but there's only so long you can live on the edge like that. I think the league's wrapped up, to be honest. It's just a matter of how many points they win it by.
Well, if Arsenal beat West Ham on Saturday, they're only 5 points behind Liverpool.
I just don't think they have it in them.
Equal games played.
Do you think there's enough of a wobble in Liverpool, Nate, for Arsenal to make up that ground if results go their way?
Yeah, I do. I think the pressure only goes up now. I think there's less pressure on Arsenal because people don't think they're going to do it. Where I think there'll be a lot of pressure on Liverpool.
There's less pressure on Arsenal, but they don't have a goal scorer
forwards anymore.
Yeah,
like Havertz is out for the rest of the season now. So,
like, I'd say this wobble happened, and they'd full strength Arsenal team, different gravy. But as of now, they have no goal threat, and that West Ham game is not going to be easy either. Like there's some cracking games this weekend.
They'll just end up scoring a header off a corner, won't they? Like that's what they do.
What are you saying, Killian?
I really don't know. Like City going from beating Chelsea 3-1, 5-1 loss against Arsenal, 4-0 battering of Newcastle, just battering Newcastle, just 4 goals after goal after goal after Newcastle. I like it. It depends on what City turns up, because apparently it's like Jekyll and Hyde at the minute. I think Liverpool will be strong. I think Liverpool will win. I don't think it's going to be that convincing. If Arne is there, yeah, I think it could be 2-1. If Slot isn't there, might be a draw. If City win though, if they were to be on their day, it could be 3-1 City.
Boys, the biggest
I don't know.
question. The biggest question is: are you captain in Salah in fantasy for this game?
No.
I'm
Yeah.
not.
I am.
Yar.
He just keeps scoring.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of game that he will get a goal or two, or goal and an assist. They don't have to win. He just needs to score. And that's the philosophy we should be taking into this long footballing weekend. Let's just have lots of scores and do well at fantasy football. Gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. My thanks to you, Conor Glennon, and to you, Nathan Byrne. And we'll chat to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Messi. Oh my goodness! Balotelli.